Coucou tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien, j'espère que vous êtes confortablement installés. On se retrouve pour la suite de The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, sans plus tarder. C'est parti.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Est-ce que vous êtes prêts à aller vivre l'aventure? Qui répond pas au téléphone? Il y a un téléphone qui sonne. C'est quel téléphone? C'est lui ou c'est pas lui? C'est lui.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
D'accord. C'est bizarre ça comme message. Notre seau.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Que va-t-il se passer?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Vous voulez un café? Non, tous nos collègues ont disparu.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Je crois qu'il va s'énerver si on reste ici. Ouais, tiens, on va se mettre dans le coin.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Est-ce qu'on peut fermer la porte? Non, on peut pas.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection. But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
On va aller tout droit.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley, once again, obeyed blindly.
Dark room? Mais il fait pas noir ici. Ah là? Tu es sûr, Bucket? J'ai peur.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Est-ce que cette fois-ci je décroche? On va décrocher cette fois-ci.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and
Pourquoi
his bucket.
sad? Non.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh non. On est chez Stanley. C'est bien chez lui, vous en pensez quoi? Frigo. Je suis censé faire quoi? Ah, Bucket. Bonjour Stanley, c'est moi, ton seau. Appuie sur L pour m'emmener au travail avec toi.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Oh. Ah, Bucket. X.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Oh.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen
Oui.
to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Ok. Mais alors du coup je fais quoi? Est-ce que je le reprends encore le seau? Alors soit je continue, soit j'écoute la grande bouche. Allez. Je fais comment pour le jeter le seau alors? Ah mince. Bon bah on va écouter le seau.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal.
Non c'est bon, regarde la télé là. C'est très intéressant en plus ce qu'il y a à la télé en ce moment. Hier soir je regardais ma télé et bah il y avait ça aussi comme programme. Je crois que je suis obligée de prendre le seau. Hein. Je vois pas quoi faire d'autre sinon. Non. Je suis obligée de le prendre? Programme incroyable. Ouais, tu as vu Alicia. Je prends le seau.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore.
Non.
From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this
No, but-
sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Oh non, je veux pas que Narat nous laisse tomber. J'aime trop Narat. Qu'est-ce que je fais? Je me défenestre. On va reprendre le seau. Oh, il est carrément sur l'ordi maintenant. Tu sais que j'existe, pas vrai, Stanley? Appuie sur M pour entrer à la maison.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Appuie sur Y pour revivre cette journée avec moi, encore et encore.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Mais il n'y avait pas ces fils-là avant aussi? Appuie sur R pour rentrer à la maison, retourner au travail, à la maison, au travail.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Oh c'est n'importe quoi. Lol. Il nous allumait des bougies. S'il vous plaît, faites-moi sortir d'ici. C'est n'importe quoi. Vous êtes prêts? On va dormir avec Bucket. Vous êtes prêts? Oh non. Dieu. Bucket? Ça va, Bucket? Oh, des portes coulissantes, trop bien. Bon, Bucket, c'est quoi toutes ces bougies-là? C'est n'importe quoi.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Retourne au travail, Stanley. C'était la fin? Oh mon Dieu, qu'est-ce que vous en avez pensé? Je vous remercie d'être venu, j'espère que vous avez passé un bon moment avec moi. N'oubliez pas de mettre un petit pouce bleu à la vidéo si jamais vous voulez me soutenir, ça m'aide beaucoup si vous le faites, donc merci infiniment. Prenez soin de vous, c'est le plus important. Et je vous dis à bientôt, bisous bisous.